How modern food hacked the human hunger system. What if the reason you can't stop craving junk food isn't a lack of willpower, but the fact that modern food was scientifically designed to keep you hungry? Have you ever noticed how you can finish a full meal and still reach for chips, dessert, or another snack without even thinking about it? What if the food on your plate is quietly manipulating your brain, hormones, and hunger signals in ways you don't even realize? For most of human history, food scarcity was the norm. Our ancestors evolved powerful biological systems that drove them to seek out calorie-dense foods when available and conserve energy when food was scarce. These mechanisms ensured survival in harsh and unpredictable environments. But today, those ancient systems are operating in a radically different world, one dominated by highly processed, engineered foods designed not primarily for nutrition, but for palatability, convenience, and profit. As a result, modern food has effectively hacked the human hunger system, exploiting innate biological drives to promote constant consumption and override natural fullness signals. To understand how food can hack our system, we have to first look at how hunger and satiety are regulated in the body. Hunger isn't just a psychological feeling, it's a complex physiological process involving the gut, hormones, and the brain. Specialized neurons in the hypothalamus and other brain regions monitor signals from the gut and bloodstream to regulate food intake. Hormones like ghrelin trigger hunger, while leptin signals fullness. These systems are finely tuned to promote energy balance, driving eating when energy stores are low, and suppressing appetite when stores are sufficient. However, these signals evolved under conditions of food scarcity and whole food diets. They are not well adapted to cope with today's highly concentrated, engineered food sources. At the heart of the modern food system are ultra-processed foods products that have been industrially formulated with multiple ingredients, additives, and refined substances that rarely resemble whole foods. These include sugary drinks, fast food, packaged snacks, ready meals, and many breakfast cereals. In many high-income countries, these products now constitute over half of daily caloric intake. Research clearly shows that diets high in ultra-processed foods are strongly linked to increased calorie consumption and weight gain, even when calories and macronutrients are matched to whole food diets. One controlled study demonstrated that participants eating mostly highly processed foods consumed about 500 extra calories per day compared to when they ate minimally processed meals, leading to weight gain. A key reason ultra-processed foods are so effective at hijacking hunger systems lies in how they are engineered. These foods are often hyper-palatable, meaning they combine high levels of sugar, fat, and salt in a way that strongly stimulates the brain's reward circuitry. Unlike simple hunger driven by energy needs, this reward-driven eating triggers dopamine pathways, the same circuits involved in addiction and pleasure. This reward response encourages consumption beyond physiological need. While the stomach may send signals of fullness, the brain's reward centers continue to push for more because the food's taste and texture offer strong neural reinforcement. This is why you can feel full yet still crave another slice of pizza or bag of chips. Modern ultra-processed foods also blunt the body's natural satiety mechanisms in several ways. Lack of protein and fiber. Whole foods rich in protein and fiber tend to activate full satiety signals more effectively. Ultra-processed foods tend to be low in both, so they fill the stomach without satisfying nutrient or satiety targets. The protein leverage hypothesis even suggests humans eat until their protein needs are satisfied, so low-protein diets can drive us to consume more calories to meet that requirement. Rapid blood sugar fluctuations. Refined carbohydrates and sugars in processed foods are quickly absorbed, leading to blood sugar spikes followed by crashes. These fluctuations trigger renewed hunger and cravings, pushing people to eat again sooner than they would with slower digesting whole foods. Hormonal effects. Ultra-processed diets have been linked to insulin resistance and altered leptin signaling, key hormones in appetite regulation. When leptin signaling becomes impaired, the brain no longer receives clear signals that the body has adequate energy stores, resulting in persistent hunger and reduced satiety. All of these effects combine to dilute the natural cues that tell the body when to stop eating, keeping hunger turned on longer than it should be. Emerging research suggests the effects of ultra-processed foods extend beyond hormones and metabolism. They may physically alter brain circuits that regulate hunger and reward. A large neuroimaging study found associations between high consumption of highly processed foods and changes in key brain regions involved in appetite and reward processing, including the hypothalamus and nucleus accumbens. This implies that over time, such foods can actually rewire the brain's hunger and reward networks, making overeating more likely. These changes are not simply explained by body fat or inflammation, suggesting specific food components, not just excess calories, are influencing neural structure and function. As a result, cravings become stronger, and the brain's ability to regulate eating behavior may be impaired. It's not just the food itself, but the broader environment that has changed. Today's global food system makes ultra-processed products cheap, convenient, and ubiquitous. Heavy marketing, widespread availability, and placement of these foods in food swamps neighborhoods dominated by unhealthy options make healthier choices harder to access and resist. This environment reinforces unhealthy eating patterns, especially among children and low-income populations, who are disproportionately exposed to inexpensive processed fare. It's a system shaped not by human biology, but by corporate profit motives, making it easier than ever to overeat. The idea that we eat simply because we're low on energy is incomplete. Modern foods tap into hedonic hunger eating for pleasure, emotion, or reward rather than physiological need. Stress, advertising cues, and food placement all contribute to this reward-driven eating. In fact, the brain's reward pathways respond to palatable food in similar ways to addictive substances by reinforcing repeated behavior. This environment rewires both desire and habit, encouraging eating even when we're not truly hungry. Traditional models of hunger focused on mechanical cues like an empty stomach, as early hunger experiments showed. But today's systems are dominated by psychological and reward feedback loops as much as physical signals. The disruption of hunger and satiety regulation has profound implications for public health. High intake of ultra-processed foods is strongly linked to rising rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and other chronic health conditions. Populations consuming high proportions of these foods tend to have higher average caloric intake, more weight gain, and greater disease risk compared to those eating more whole, minimally processed diets. These effects appear even when calorie content is controlled in studies, suggesting it's not just energy quantity that matters. The biological impact of processed food quality plays a major role in driving overconsumption and weight gain. Can we reset the system? If this video opened your eyes to how modern food affects your brain and body, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into health, nutrition, and the science behind your cravings. Because the more you understand, the more control you take back.